Bees are a very essential part of the biodiversity on which we all depend for our survival. Almost 90% of wild plants and 75% of leading global crops depend on animal pollination, with 1 out of every 3 mouthfuls of our food depending on pollinators such as bees. Bees feed exclusively on sugary nectar and protein, which basically come from flowering plants. When the bees fly on, they deposit some of that pollen on the next flower they visit, resulting in fertilization, and thus allowing the plant to reproduce and to generate the fruits and seeds that human beings and so many other animals rely on as a food source. They provide honey, which is a very high-quality bee product with so many uses. Other bee products include royal jelly and pollen, beeswax, propolis and honeybee venom. Beekeeping also provides an important source of income for many rural livelihoods. Stephen Kaboyo, an apitherapist and the founder of Bellafam Africa, takes us through the various types of honey and other bee products and their importance to human life.
My name is Stephen Kaboyo, the owner of Bellafam Africa. Bellafam is a company that deals with beekeeping and beekeeping value products and apitherapy. So my background is interesting because I'm a civil engineer, trained, graduated, practiced for 5 years, then I went into agriculture, but more specifically I specialized in beekeeping, where thereafter I did apitherapy in Romania. Then I came back this year when I opened this center, but Bellafam was in existence since 2017. Basic beekeeping, we deal with now honey products, bee products, and one of the basic known bee product is honey, asali. Honey is classified based on plant source, nectar source. We have got honeydew honey from leaves of plants. We've got honey from the nectar. And we've got honey from stingless bees, which get it from some roots and some other parts of the trees. But the most common one is the nectar honey. So nectar honey you can classify based on nectar source, like acacia honey, pyrethrum honey, coffee honey, mango honey, avocado honey, linden honey, and each and every nectar has got its own specific characteristics. Let's say, for example, coffee honey has the same characteristics of coffee, like it has some element of making you feel a bit more excited. And the other thing I like to talk about honey is that honey, based on the source or the region, bears the characteristic of that region. Let's say, for example, in the highlands, we got highlands honey. So highlands honey is very good for chest conditions. That's what we do in apitherapy. You classify honey based on source. So if you've got a chest condition, you should go for highland honey. Then if you've got conditions to do with marital conditions like genitals and stuff, we recommend what you call mangrove honey, because it's in the mangrove region, very hot. So it is for several purposes, especially that are more specific to that region. And in the coast, they grow coconut because they need that. They need their blood to be a bit heavy, because if it is light, they lose water easily. They'll sweat, they'll perspire. So they need those heavy liquids like heavy coconut oil, palm oil for drinking on and applying on their face. Already here.
That's actually a question.
Yeah.
When you were explaining about the highlands, the lowlands, the everything, when I was growing up, most of people used to tell us that the best honey comes either from Maringo or from Kambani. Those are the dry lands.
Yes. Lowlands.
They are lowlands.
Yeah.
All right. And it's very fascinating that whatever happens, the plant in the highlands have some direct connection with the human being, and like they can get some medicinal value from
Yes.
the highland, then from the lowland. I think this is very nice understanding some of the way God does some of this.
Yes.
There's a lot of interconnection between everything.
Yes, there's a lot of bioenergy in relation to the characteristics of the trees and the bushes and the shrubs that grow in a particular region.
Yes.
It is specifically adapted to that region and for the people in that area.
Exactly.
As I've said, the lowland, the coastal honey is good because of skin. So if a highland person has a skin condition, we'll go for the lowland, and because that is more specific for for skins. If a lowland person has a chest condition, maybe he has visited a highland person, then we give them the highland honey plus the highland shrubs and extracts, and she will be okay. Now, the number one most adulterated product in the world is crude oil. Number one most adulterated food in the world is milk. Number two is honey. Sometimes honey is the most, sometimes is milk. And this is the reason is because, one, people are now more enlightened what honey does. So the basic test of honey is this. We have got bees all over Kenya. Just put honey outside, maybe just a tiny, then leave it. If you see a bee, that's good honey. But the most important smell, refrigerate. Come look at the bottle. Is it clearing? By the time you're doing the fifth, the sixth, now putting honey outside, you will now see like, this is the sure test. The best laboratory for your honey is live bees. So just, if you put your honey outside on a dipstick like this, you dip, you leave it, you'll see now if there are bees. So these live bees now shows like, yes, nobody can fake it because you cannot fake the bees. But you cannot overcome the sense of smell and the attraction to the bees. You cannot overcome this. You cannot force a bee. Otherwise, if bees were eating sugars, our houses will be full of bees because we have sugars in our houses. So now once honey, it comes in several forms. You can get it in this format. This is crude honey. So crude honey is the honey with the combs and everything. It comes in this format. But there is a smart way of the modern way whereby this comb honey in this format in frames is extracted using this machine. So this honey in these frames, so it is put in these frames this way vertically. Now you can see the bees here. So once you put them, you put it in an extractor. You extract your honey by centrifuge force. Then you reverse. Then your honey comes out.
Apitherapy is a branch of alternative medicine made by honeybees for medicinal purposes. These products include honey, beeswax, royal jelly, pollen, propolis, and bee venom. Apitherapists may use a combination of these products, depending on the condition they are treating. When bees combine sap from trees with their own discharges and beeswax, they create a sticky greenish-brown product used as a coating to build their hives. This is propolis, or bee glue. The composition of propolis can vary depending on the location of the bees and what trees and flowers they have access to. Propolis has been reported to have various health benefits related to gastrointestinal disorders, allergies, and gynecological, oral, and dermatological problems. Royal jelly is well known for its protective effects on reproductive health, neurodegenerative disorders, wound healing, and aging.
Another product that comes from the bees is propolis. Propolis comes in solid format from the beehive, and propolis seals is the one that seals the beehive in case there is a hole. So if this is the opening, for example, this door is too big for the bees. What they do, they will come and reduce the opening size. So whatever they use to reduce the opening size of this door is propolis. The propolis here propolizes that air. So the air that gets in is propolized air. And that air, the propolized air, is like an aesthetic, like the one that is used for in the theater, anesthesia. So that air is pure. So that's why, like, you'll never find plants germinating inside the beehive. Otherwise, because of pollen, it can really be a source of growth. So plants will be growing everywhere. So propolization helps to keep everything under control. So once we get it to the human beings, we liquefy it for drinking. So you drink this tincture, also help the same immunity and good internal health, especially once you are used to drinking it. So if you can chew, it's a bit flat, but so And if you place some bitterness, and this is already alcohol extracted. So in this format, we'll grind and make now body creams that protect you, because propolis, one of the characteristics of propolis is anti-radiation. And this was seen in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the bomb disaster. Only bees survived because of that propolization of the yaya. Only bees survived that attack. Any other biological thing, plants, people, everything else died. Only bees. Now, propolis is very strong, antibiotic, natural. So in case you've got a wound, like a deep cut, you put propolis on it. It forms a film within 5 minutes. So that if you put after another 5 minutes, you'll feel some pain, but not as intense as the first one. If you put now the third time, it will be no pain because the film is now protective. And then once that film is there, now the flesh will regenerate slowly without now being septic. So internally, the same. The stomach wounds, like ulcers, the peptic ulcers, if you take it internally, it will do the same effect. It will form a film, then your internal lining will start to regenerate. So you'll hear a relief from ulcers. If now you use it for the skin body creams like these ones, with propolis, like it's a sunscreen, besides the other benefits of propolis of wound treatment and skin treatment. If you want to make anything to do with the chest condition, you use highland honey. Highlands honey. Because those trees in the highlands are specific and aromatic for highland conditions. And most of the highland natural occurring conditions are chest conditions. Besides now the cold, and that's why the highlands, only tea grows in the highlands, because they need tea, because they drink tea for their body to be warm. So this now cough syrup, one of the basic honey that we use is the highlands honey, because we are targeting the chest. Now we also do propolis, because also the highlands, most trees have those gums, because if it is hot, that gum has to come out for it to seal, otherwise it will bleed, and then it will dry out because of sap draining. So that gum is one of the component in propolis. So it has honey, highlands honey, has propolis suspension, and they also have now herbal extracts that are highland specific. The eucalyptus, the mint, those are highland specific. So that's why it's very effective for the chest.
Beeswax is a natural wax produced by honeybees of the genus Apis. The wax is formed into scales by 8 wax-producing glands in the abdominal segments of worker bees, which discard it in or at the hive. Beeswax has been used since prehistory as a lubricant and waterproofing agent, as a polish for wood and leather, for making candles, and as an ingredient in cosmetics, among many other uses. It forms a protective barrier on the skin's surface, protecting your skin from environmental irritants and harsh weather. It is particularly exceptional being non-comedogenic, allowing the skin to breathe freely. This makes beeswax particularly beneficial for acne-prone and sensitive skin.
These are the third product. The first is honey, propolis. Now this is beeswax. Beeswax, once you separate honey is contained in wax vessels. So some people press, then the honey drips, then you are left with wax. Then you wash, boil, then you're left with this block. This wax has other external use. One of the external uses, we make high leather polish, shoe polish, or handbag polish. The moment you use beeswax leather polish, your bag will remain in the same state, the longest. If you've got furniture, leather furniture, you use beeswax polish, they'll remain antique. If you do your mahogany coffee table, it will remain in that state the longest, because one of the best characteristics of honey products is that they last. You have honey that was discovered in the pyramids, 3,000 years old, still fresh. So that the same characteristics apply in all honey products. So that's now one of these is leather polish, 2, wooden polish, 3, body creams like this one. Good. If you apply to our lady customer here, let's apply where we can see. Then you can, yeah, look attractive. Like we have conserved her skin in the best condition.
Actually, that's what I've been using.
So she continue using it. Like we conserve, we want her to take the same features of honey living long, so her skin being in the best conditions longer. So it has that emollient. Then because of propolis, it has anti-radiation. Then other benefits for adding this. The other thing we use honey for is to make eye drops. It's really like your eyes is really paining. Now we use eye drop. Now this is another usage of honey. We detox the skin, facial skin, using honey. Every time I'm doing detox, I smell that toxin. If you smell toxins of somebody with cancer, it smells like rotten meat. If you detox somebody, an alcoholic, it has an element of alcohol. You smell the toxins, smell the alcohol. Then there are the general ones, maybe like you've never exfoliated, plus exfoliation you can do it using the scrubs, but honey will open your pores, so it will make your skin breathe. So once the skin breathes, it makes like you are not overworking the kidneys, because this is another excretory organ. So evaporation, perspiration, it goes away with some salts. So all the salts is not being excreted using the urine, because the lungs also helps in excretion of excess air, water, the skin, excess salts. So if you have got a skin condition, you'll find like you're overworking the kidneys, because they are loaded with a lot of work for excretion. But the moment now your skin is open, has pores and is breathing, then you have reduced the work on the kidneys.
Bee pollen, also known as bee bread and ambrosia, is a ball or pellet of field-gathered flower pollen packed by worker honeybees and used as the primary food source for the hive. It consists of simple sugars, protein, minerals and vitamins, fatty acids and a small percentage of other components. It comes from the pollen that collects on the bodies of bees as they fly from one flower to another. Bee pollen may also include bee saliva. There has been recommendation for the use of bee pollen to treat alcoholism, asthma, allergies, premenstrual syndrome, enlarged prostate and stomach problems. It's also used as an energy tonic. Some women choose to use bee pollen for fertility, to increase libido and reproductive health, for egg quality support, longevity and anti-aging, as well as boost immunity.
Yeah. Unaona nyuki inakuja imebeba some yellow substance, red, white. So what happens is that pollen is the male version sperms of the plant. So what pollen does, the same. Mnakumbuka characteristics. So male sperms fertilize the female. So when you take the male from the plants, the fertilizer from the plant, it works on what? Regeneration. Because the fusion of male and the female is a regeneration of, is a new thing. So what have come with the studies have shown is that they are very effective in regeneration, especially of the liver. So if you've got somebody who's messed up by alcohol, liver cirrhosis, if you want to regenerate their liver, they are put on bee pollen. Regeneration of the skin. If somebody's maybe been amezeeshwa sana na madawa, cancers, stuff, those chemotherapies, you feed them on bee pollen, their skin regenerates very back, and like they are really, the human, they're using stem cells from, but if you use pollen, is much more richer than specific stems, because it has not given any form of like hands, stuff. So pollen is one of the best products I always like
Bee
using.
venom is a colorless and acidic liquid excreted by bees through their stingers into a target when they feel threatened. It contains both anti-inflammatory and inflammatory compounds including enzymes, sugars, minerals and amino acids. Bee venom is used as a natural treatment for a variety of ailments. Its proponents claim that it offers a wide range of medicinal properties, ranging from reducing inflammation to treating chronic illnesses. Beehive air therapy is mainly used for respiratory problems and allergies and is recognized as a potential remedy for treating asthma, bronchitis, lung fibrosis and respiratory tract infection.
The other product is bee venom. So bee venom, you can get it from these bee stings. Here I've got my bees. So the venom, we take the bees, bee venom, this is the bee. I had an accident here and I've treated myself using bee venom. Yeah. What it does, if you come closer, you'll see it palpitating like
Yeah. In a boil.
it's pumping, eh?
Yeah.
So it is now releasing the venom
Ah.
into my body.
Okay.
So this is good for. I had an injury. Sorry, I had an accident where I fell from a bike. So this joint had some issues. So I said, no, I'll treat myself. So first things you test. There's a test we do if you have allergy to bee sting. Yeah. That allergy test will show you three reactions. There's normal reaction, like just here where we have injured, it will swell. Yeah. There's the general, we have stung on my wrist, then my whole arm. That's the second type of reaction. The third is the worst, like you've been stung here, then you are sweating, you're panting. Now that can lead to anaphylactic shock. But this one, now after 3 minutes, the pain is over. So we come back here and remove the stinger. So the venom is now left in my body, which now helped me to. So it is documented worldwide, beekeepers don't get arthritis because, sorry for these things, eh? Yeah, like it's documented, beekeepers don't get arthritis. So that's why we use bee stings for like such joint conditions. In apitherapy, we've got meridians that are allowable. Instead of using pins, we use bees. Like I've done myself here, you see? Is it here? Here. Yeah. So this is the wrist joint, we do it here or here. There are safe joints, the posterior and the anterior. So they are the points that we use that are safe with very minimal reactions. Like I've done myself here, this is just normal reaction. Yeah. And my wrist is
Very okay.
very okay.
Okay.
So this is a general point for the liver. So we've got a general point for the lung, a general point for the heart, general point for the liver, general point for the gallbladder, general point for small intestine, general point for those internal organs. Then if you've got a joint, an arthritic condition, that's a local point on the toes, on the here, and the knees, the joints, the sciatica nerve, the elbows, the shoulders. Those are local points.
Spending a few hours in an apiary inhaling the aerosol, which is the air filled with etheric smells of bees, boosts one's immune system, positively affects the respiratory organs, reduces stress and improves one's general well-being.
This propolis helps in asthma. If you get somebody with asthma, like he burns for 2 hours, inhaling now that propolis. Now he's propolizing his lungs.
Okay.
The other one that is new now is bee air therapy. So this one is put in a beehive.
Okay.
Beehive. So this one is inserted. Then you breathe that air. What is inside here? Flower, pollen, flower, nectar. So that aroma and the propolized air. So 3 very strong things. Propolized air, the aroma from the flowers, the nectar, and the aroma from the pollen.
Okay.
So there is pollen, there is propolized air, and there is nectar. So good for the chest, conditions like bronchitis. Also good for stress relief because you've got a stress, you go in the forest, like that aroma, that serenity, like that kind of relief. It's documented, it's ongoing, but so far the results are really promising. The other way is you can burn it in your room. Now you propolize your bedroom. So you put it on, you now that propolization, the one that is benefiting the young ones of the bees, now you propolize your bedroom. So you'll find like you also minimize the attacks if you've got an asthma patient. Because now also in Serbia, they're using these ones in nursery schools, kindergartens, because once kids open school, they infect one another very fast. Like the first 2 weeks, all parents are, oh, this, oh, my child, oh, infection. So once you use this one, they burn it 2 hours before the kids come to school. So all classes are propolized. So no infection. Or if you've got, you cannot infect the other person. Yes, very strong for that. So those are the bee products. Besides now, so this one I came with from Europe.
Oh, so it is not available here?
No. Because it has a thermostat that regulates, should not burn to release toxins. So it's just burn to release the steam. Yes.